Hello. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. So, this is basically, so today we're releasing Next 3.7.1, so I'm not going to be doing such huge changes, but what I'm looking for is some opportunities to make things better. So, smaller perf wins. I've been looking particularly recently at the size of a minimum Next project. So we've got, let's see, got a new Nuxt. Haha, excellent. A new Nuxt project. So Tom, yes, I want to know, how is your new site treating you? I haven't checked actually recently. Let's see. Is it still there? It still seems to be Nuxt. So that's good to see. Not that you have to keep it that way. A new page. Okay. Let's see. Let's see the page. Users. Very nice. Ooh, I like how it's sort of clamped to a little bit less. Very good. That is just very nice. Very pleasing. Where's lazy get? Are they not? They're not clickable. They're just okay. Lazy get. Simple terminal UI. That is nice to see. That's very nice. I also want to check out someone's. Let's see. Hey, Sean. Good to see you. Yes, I very much hope. If you've got a chance to check that out, Aussie boy, do check it out. Just confirm that it does solve it, because I didn't test this one to its logical conclusion, but I'm pretty sure it does. But let me know if it doesn't. Okay, so we've got a couple of things. Okay, this is one. I need to actually finish this. So this is a quick PR change. Don't worry, Tom. That's just the default install on this box. It's not. Although Nano is very convenient. Nano is great. No complaints about it. Okay, so basically, I made a small change here, which I think actually we want to revert. This tag priority here. That's all fine. Yeah. But we will keep that like that. And then I just want to render inline styles before we render the link headers. So somewhere here, we add a style sheet. Yeah, that's it. Where are we rendering the inline styles? Interesting. Oh, I see, we're not putting them in until here. I think we just do them in 2 steps. So head push. Let's try this. Yeah, nice to see you. So I am well, thank you. It is a glorious summer's day outside, which absolutely makes my day good. Oh, and Sean, I think I have got a good date for catching up, and maybe we can get some other folk who might be in the broad area in the UK down for it. So I'm thinking 11th October. It's a little whiles off. But yeah, does that sound any good? Let's see. Oh, for goodness sake, the same issue as that. Right. Okay, so what I want to check is that our inline styles are present before our actual CSS. but there is actually no CSS. Let's just change this so we have some CSS. Let's say div is going to be font weight bold. And build it again. And we will install Volar. I need to automate that somehow. Don't know if you're meant to be in Lanzarote. I think if you're given an opportunity to be in Lanzarote, I think you would go there. I think we can rearrange a meetup here. So everyone, if you happen to be in the UK, we're thinking about a little meetup in Newcastle or thereabouts. So, okay, we have a style and we have a style sheet. Excellent. And if we went to main, let's just check that. Let's see, fix, just push inline to styles before style sheets. We will push that. You only know one. That's terrible, people. What's going on? Huh, no wonder people turn up to my streams in that case. It's because there's literally no one else. Let's try rebuilding this. That's not a tremendous endorsement, I've got to say. Okay, and yes, exactly. So that does fix the issue. Excellent. I'm really pleased. That's much simpler than my change and much less breaking. Not that it was breaking, but okay. So what I want to do is look at some opportunities for improving like the default Nuxt performance. And I'm delighted that there are French streamers using Nuxt. It's funny how these things get regional. So Vue sort of basically React is, I think, much more US than Vue, for example. Actually, I don't know if that's true. Nuxt is obviously hugely popular in France. I think it doesn't hurt that Sebastian and Alex Chopin are from France. Excellent. Someone else is just telling me that the fix we merged, the one Aussie boy that you mentioned, is oh, and you're planning to start streaming. That is fantastic. Drop a link. Do you want to drop a link here so everybody knows your channel, wherever it is? Is it on Twitch? But someone just confirmed that the bug, in fact, is solved. So that is really good. Okay, what I want to do is I am going to just assume that we can improve the bundle size of our Nuxt project. So I'm going to show you a way that I often debug. If I want to debug the built bundle, there are a couple of things that you will want to do. So you want to change Vite build minify, and you'll turn it to false. And you'll also want to do the same for nitro. So you'll say nitro minify false. Okay, so I mean, actually, I don't care about nitro in this particular instance, but these two changes are good. Now, one thing that I try not to do is make these changes actually in my Nuxt config, because these are almost always things that I want to drop in if I'm debugging and then immediately remove afterwards. So what I tend to do is this. I create a .nuxtrc file and I say debugging or something like that, and I do nitro minify false and vite build minify false. Okay, and that will do exactly the same thing. So the nuxtrc file, it can be quite straightforward, and it basically is little declarative statements to change your config. And actually, you can place stuff in here, like in your home directory in your on your computer, and it actually sort of applies it to all your Nuxt projects. So don't make in general, don't do this. Like in general, don't make changes in here that would change the result of your project, because you want everything that changes the actual result of your build to be actually in code and committed to your repo. But there are occasions like this where you do want to override something. Or I think I do one, for example, where I set like vite clear screen to false, which is, I think, often something that I want to see everything. So that's my preference. And so I can apply it to my entire computer without worrying that it's going to affect the experience if someone clones a project of mine. So here we have got a little sort of debugging, and when I'm done with it, I can also just comment it out. So I could just say, okay, we're actually now just going to, oops, don't start Discord. We're actually now just going to turn off debugging. So that could be quite a useful thing. So anyway, we're going to build our playground. Now this is not the most minimal playground, so we'll make it a little bit more minimal. So it's just got this. And another thing that you want to, what am I drinking? Interesting. Another thing that you can do, if you really want a totally minimal project, you actually need to provide the error page as well. I'll show you why. What happens if you don't. So we're first going to build the playground. The answer is that I'm drinking tea. This is actually quite a nice, I don't know if you can see it. It's quite a nice blend of tea that was given to me by Anthony Fu. And it is truly delicious. It's like Christmas in a cup. It's amazing. So, yeah, Tom. Yeah. So basically you can see we've got some outputs here. So we have our entry, but then we also have all of this stuff being output from two different possible error pages, an error 404 and an error 500. And those contain CSS and they contain JavaScript, not a huge amount of JavaScript, but there's some stuff being outputted there. That's the default error page. And often what you'll find is that you don't want to, oh, I'm really glad, Sean. Often what you'll find is that actually you don't think about your error page, but it's still going to be adding a little bit of weight to your project. And it's better, I would say everyone should write their own error page in a project, without doubt. Because just like you wouldn't want the Nuxt welcome component making it in, the Nuxt error page component isn't really designed to be your production error page. It is just a placeholder. So you almost always want to have an error page, and it would be something like this. And so you would do something like this. And then this is going to be a lot smaller. So it's not going to have these 4 files over there. Okay, so now we just have a single JavaScript file. So this is it. It's not minified. So if you have a look at the file, it's going to be, 256 kilobytes. Kilobytes? Not kilobytes? I guess it is. Come on, I actually want some units. I guess it's kilobytes. It's too much, right? I mean, it's a lot smaller than that when it's minified, but still, I want to see what is there in here that we can possibly remove from the final project. Oh, Biscoitus, it doesn't actually use Tailwind. The error page doesn't actually use Tailwind. It's all compiled, but it does use Tailwind in source file. I guess we could probably change the classes, like prefix them or something. That might make sense. And yes, hello. Right. Okay. So there's lots of stuff. This is all Vue. So Vue is tracking stuff, and that makes sense. Yeah. There's basically there's a size of Vue, which we're not going to be able to change here. So if we want to have a look at actually the size of Vue, we can do that here. So we're going to be pulling in almost certainly vue.runtime.esmbrowser.prod. Interesting, but I bet it's not. I bet we're pulling in the dev mode. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's the prod. That's not what we're pulling in. We are actually pulling in the development mode here. So that's interesting. I wonder why we aren't pulling in. By the way, I don't have an agenda here, just so you are very clear. What I'm doing is just exploring, because I think that you can ask questions as we go, because this is not planned. None of my streams are really planned. So we're just basically going to try and figure out what's going on. So, and how we can improve things. So basically, yeah, we're pulling in. Yeah, okay, of course we're not. There's no reference to prod, I guess. esmbrowser.prod. Or unless it's actually inside here. I think it's probably meant for I wonder what differences there are between the prod and non-prod versions. Brocard, hello. So that's going to be in the rollup config of the Vite core repository. And we will have like a prod suffix and okay, we've got this create production. Okay, now if it's production build, we actually Hey, welcome. Good to see you. So is production build interesting? So if we aren't using the production build, we are actually using a bigger project. Okay, so let's just have a little look. So because I'm beginning to wonder, actually, we should be using this. So let's do two quick tests. So one is we're going to disable the minification, like we're going to re-enable minification. So let's re-enable. Let's do a quick build and see what things look like. So we're going to what is it? Playground output public next and entry. So we're going to rebuild, and this is minified. So this is what you would get with a minimal project in production. Although I think, yeah, okay. So 100 kilobytes. So that's what that is. Now let's create an alias. We're going to alias view to viewdist view runtime. Now this may not actually work, but let's just do a quick. Let's just hope that might actually work. Let's see. Oh, it also won't work because that's it's also going to alias the server, but it might still be good enough for us. Yeah, it's struggling on the server side. Okay, let's try this instead like this. Vite. We have a client server aliases now, so we can directly pull this in and say resolve and then alias. Pop that up. Okay, let's try that. Is it hard to get a role working with Nuxt for someone with React experience? I would not say that, no. I think personally with, interesting, it's actually bigger. How is that possible? How is that possible? How can it be bigger? Maybe if multiple versions are being included. Nuxt.c should play well with layers. It's more to do, is it, yeah, there you go. I almost think it would be quite useful to have some kind of way of people seeing what there is that's out there in terms of Nuxt jobs, because people contact me all the time asking about Nuxt devs, and basically, I always, and like developers that I would recommend, and there are lots of developers I would recommend, but what I don't know is who is actually looking for a job. So, yes. Alien, hello. Good to see you. So yes, this is good. Definitely try out the Nuxt job board that exists. That's coming from View Jobs. So if you're looking for it, but I was talking about the other way around. So people contact me to know about developers. Anyway, I just think it would be quite useful for devs to be able to put their availability up there. Hey, Mehmet, good to see you. Yeah, the camera, believe it or not, I think I might be able to make this a bit better. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Okay, it basically overheats. So I've sort of listed. I've sort of removed the LCD from the camera, so maybe it will make it not as hot. Haystack, I did see this actually. Someone mentioned this to me, and it actually has a Nuxt they mentioned it to me because it has a Nuxt category. I think it was Omar, Nick Pizza, who made sure that there was a Nuxt category in here. So that was nice. Okay, so what I want to know is basically why. Well, one, why that would be bigger. And two, we want to make sure that we actually are doing all the replacements that we want to do. So we have, I was finding this a second ago, there was one. What were we searching for? Is production build. Okay, so we basically don't want to have, okay, right. Context on error. That all makes sense. Okay, so we shouldn't expect dev to be present. Oh no, this is actually replaced within the, of course, this is replaced in the build. Okay, but I should be able to tell emit error or create DOM compiler error. Let's see if that's present. Flow focus. What are you proposing? Oops. Pomodoro timer. Interesting. Oops. Try that again. Esteban, good to see you. So that's cool. It's nice. I might try that out. Thank you. Let's see. Are you telling me that I have a lack of focus? That's what's going on. Let's just rebuild and confirm. Let's see what's actually being bundled at this point. I should use it in live broadcasts to force me to take a break. That's what you're telling me. Terrible. Terrible. The abuse I suffer on my own stream. Okay. I wonder. Okay, so what are the other view? Okay, so we have this. We also want to transpile everything with view in it. So we're going to add app view to our transpile list. And I probably also want to see if there are any other. Are you worried about my eyes? Oh, thank you, Biscoitus. I couldn't go to a better person, honestly. Okay, so let's see. Node modules view. We have got, I don't know, let's see, reactivity, which has the same ESM browser prod. Okay, and we probably have I probably have a lot of these. Okay, so I'm interested in what are we wanting to check. So we have a list here of a lot of things, and I want to basically see, oops. Okay, and I basically want to see if any of these have, actually, take it back a sec. I want to see if any of these have a dist folder with something .esm browser prod. Okay, and we'll try that. So then I'll just run, node modules. There we go. Okay, so we've basically got 4. So we have view compiler DOM, reactivity, runtime DOM, and server renderer. So that's compiler DOM and runtime DOM and server renderer. And there we go. Let's try that again. Oh, sorry, what I'm doing is I'm aliasing the ESM browser production bundles to the, I'm not expecting this. I'm running to explore to see if there's anything we're including in the build that we shouldn't be including in the build. Starting first with view. Nope, it's actually not making any difference on this. Next, with Nitro is more, it can do more than Express, but not less. Yes, you feasibly can build full stack apps entirely in Nuxt, and you can later decouple an app if you want to decouple the front end from the back end. Yes, that is all true. And I saw, actually, did you just tweet that a little bit ago? I did see it. I haven't had a chance to respond yet, but yeah, no, I do think that's all possible. I mean, it should be possible with almost zero preparation. Yeah, other people are agreeing. So I think you should be good. You should be good with this. Definitely. Really? Haha! I'm delighted. That's really good. Okay, so this is not making any difference here. Because I suspect we must be already pulling in the... Let's just check. Are we pulling in? No. I think we must be resolving to that anyway, somehow. Okay, so if it's not view, then I mean we could try something. So let's do we could try this. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. Not that, for goodness sake. I'm going to pull up the view runtime, ESM browser, just the basic one. Oh, the bundler. Ah, that's why. We're pulling the bundler, which is the right one. Of course that's right. That's why everything is being done correctly. Okay, so what we want is to remove runtime. Okay, I want to know everything that runtime DOM exports, and then I want to just do a very, very quick stub. Okay, so what we're going to do is create a stub for view. And basically, we are going to alias view to our stub, which is going to be that. And so we have these properties that we are going to need to alias, and we will also have a few others. We will want everything in runtime core and all of these as well. And what is in runtime core? Okay. And then much more. Okay. There's lots of stuff being re-exported in different places. And I just want to stub it all out. There'll probably be a lot of duplicates here. And let's just grab everything. And most of this probably isn't needed anyway, but. Yes, I'm hoping to do some perf improvement. The aim is very much to do that. Okay, so we've got everything. So we're going to do export const whatever equals like stub. And then we are going to, and I think there might be some duplicates here. We're going to import stub from uninf runtime mock proxy. And it is default. I think I've got some wrong stuff here. Let's try that. Okay, what else? Redeclarations. It's probably extremely boring. Basically, what I'm trying to do is just remove view from the build so I can look at what remains and see how much of that is what we are putting in and how much of that is maybe coming from a misconfiguration or something. Let's see. Right. Right, questions. Okay. Thank you, Brendu. That's very nice of you to say. And Gillian, I didn't actually see it was you. I just saw the message. So nice to see you too. Next layers, prefix components when used in another project. I think, yes, actually, it would be possible to do that. I think. So, okay, this actually, the build worked. And then what we now have is a version of the build which is everything but view, which is 44 kilobytes. So let's have a look and see what that might be. So we're going to pull these out and build it again. So it's not minified now. So we should be able to read the file just with our eyes. The way you would do it, I think, Milos, is to differentiate. I think you would have to add an extra entry in your components DIRs array that specifies the prefix, and I think that would probably override the layers configuration. The alias is for stub, so don't ever do this. This is just me doing a thing. So what I'm doing is I'm mocking view. I'm creating a file that has all of these exports, and my aim is for this file. It won't work. So if you try and run this app, it will totally fail, right? So this is a bad thing to do. For anything else other than this, I'm just trying to do some performance testing, and so I want to see what there is inside this app that is not view, and maybe see if there's a way of improving it. Okay, so because there will be stuff in here that probably doesn't belong in our app. I'm guessing. So as in, I'm assuming that is the case. What is it? So some of it will just be nuxed. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Thank you for explaining emojis to me. That's also extremely helpful. Okay, right. So someone else explained emojis to me recently. I'm totally being schooled. Okay. Right, so, okay, so we have our root component, which is just this thing. Come on. That's our Nuxt root, so we would expect that to be there. We have our entry. This is fine. We would also expect to be there. This is just our basic Nuxt being rendered. We have an error component, an app component, and the SFCs for them. That's all good. We have got our plugins. So we have some bits that are going to revive. We have our global components. We have some stuff with unhead. We've got our plugins. So this plugin is going to, we have a plugin that will reload the Nuxt app if it's needed. So yeah, all of these plugins are what we would expect. They're there. That probably means, obviously we have view router here as well. We must have view router. So let's see. Router is, actually I say that we must have router, but we actually haven't enabled pages. So we're using our default universal router, which is a Nuxt innovation that saves about 20 kilobytes on the build. And it should be reasonably good. HTML breaking in middleware when using Yarn. What a terrible reflection on the state of modern front-end development that you might, anyway. Yarn, really? Does it break if you use PNPM? Like, is it really package manager related? Okay, so we have sanitized status code. This is very interesting. This is a bit of server code, which I understand why it's here. It's here because we have this create error function. But actually, I'm wondering if it makes sense to do this, because it feels like this is starting to be very serverish, and this is quite a lot of code to handle that. And normally we don't need to sanitize the code in the client build. Okay, so I've got one option here. So that is create error from H3. I think we can get rid of that from our client build. I think we can replace it with something else. We have use state. Why do we have use state? Is it actually being used? I mean, it must be. It's being used to set layout, and it's being used. The thing is, we shouldn't need this if we're not doing anything with layout. So I wonder if we can tree shake layout out. So I'm just going to create some questions for myself, and we can pick them up in a moment. So can we tree shake out use state? Okay. What else? Do we use use state anywhere else, or just there? Just there. It's just this question about initial layout. Fabian, nice to see you. You're working on a next project, I think, at the moment, aren't you? I'm sure I saw it. I thought, oh, what a shame. Let's see. Oh, everyone, Puya has just announced something. Check out this and give him some love. It looks like a fun project. Okay, so I think we can do something about that use state. I think we can do something. Okay, global components. Do we have any global components? Interesting. This plugin is still there, even though it's empty. I think we should be able to remove empty components. Okay. Light mode? I didn't even think. Oh heavens. Okay, so do you want me to open the link? So this is the link. This is a game that Puya has written, which looks extremely cool. So I have not played it, I just launched it, but boom. Come on, people. You want sound? Light mode. It's not that light. Ah! It's very light. Oh, is there a sound when you switch to light mode? Okay, I will have to check that in a moment. Puya pasa. There he is. Okay. I'll check that out. in a second, but I can't hear it at the moment because I've not actually. Yeah. Anyway, looks very nice. Okay, so I think we should be able to do something with that. Unhead, chunk reload, revive payload client. Okay, these are fine. Like, the router will take some space, but not a huge amount. The get root from path. Yeah, this all seems fine. Hey, Austin, good to see you. Nice to have side projects, isn't it? Did anyone use first commit? I want to know. Did you use it? We built it on stream last week, right? I think it was just last week. And it basically sort of lets you either OAuth in and this is me, 2018. It's just not that long ago. That's not my actual first commit. That's just my first public commit. I did some private stuff, which I think you should be able to tell by looking at my profile. I think you can tell that I have got some stuff that's older. Yeah, there you go. It's a Ruby on Rails app in 2011. So there you go. That's my actual first commit. Don't think I'd ever even used Git before that point. But yeah, 2018. And there you go. Not that. What is the commit? This, right? And everybody has that. It's so nice. People are like, I added a comma. You know, I committed node modules. Like whatever it is, we all have some crazy story. There's nobody that I'm aware of who's like, and here I implemented, Puya implemented a compiler or something like that. That was his first commit. Crazy. Okay, so this seems fine. Why is clear error being used? It's being used because we do that in the router. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, working my way up. So various Nuxt composables are always there. Navigate to. Why is that? Because interesting. Because we use that in middleware, and we have to use that in middleware. I think some of these we really could consider tree shaking. I think our revivers, we could, for example, include them if they are not, or omit them if they're not being included. So I think, how could we do that? It seems like a very, very minimal fix. Okay, what is suspect proto RX? Let's find that. Oh goodness, that's everywhere. Aha, very nice. Yes, hello. That is the kind of commit that we're all about, right? By the way, like my commit history, there is no value in it, right? Like I might have a lot of green, but that doesn't actually mean very much. Like the number of commits just tells you more about how often someone commits, not anything about the value of what they do. Okay, this is coming from Dester, I guess. Interesting. Okay, why do we have Dester in the project? It's everywhere. We're using it in here. This is runtime. Okay, we're using it where? I see. Okay, and we're using it in the cookie. Okay, and then we're using it on the server. I think we might have an opportunity to get rid of Dester. Because we're not using it that often. And it just two use cases. And I think we might be able to make that a bit better. Okay, let's see. We also have all these query values. which is also probably cookie related. Like, so a lot of this is UFO. There's a lot of UFO, which we know about. Then there's all of this OFetch. So we have a fetch error category. Paper spigot pom. Fixed pom.xml for paper spigot. Yeah, Minecraft, that I feel yeah, I love it. It's still around. Like, clearly this server is still running, right? Okay, so we have all of these. This is all about fetch, which I guess makes sense to be here. Fetch raw. Has body on response. This is all OFetch. Okay, this is hookable. I wish we could tree shake hookable. I wish hookable were more composable than it is at the moment. Then we have async local context. This is okay. So basically, okay, we have a little bit more going on here. There's this module preload thing, which is Vite injected. Okay, so we basically have UFO, we have hookable, we have OFetch. Those we're not really getting rid of. Those are core Nuxt things. Then we also have, okay, this is devalue. Unhead. It brings joy to my heart to see normalize spelled this way in the code. Thank you very much, Harlan. Now, a lot of these things I think we could make better. Like, as in a lot of this, I think we probably don't need to have this present in the client side. Okay. There's a lot of unhead. Interesting. This shouldn't be right. This should definitely be tree shaken, but it seems not. So we have to see why we're not tree shaking this. That's interesting. Okay, and then H3 arrow where we already were. Okay, so I think we've identified some significant savings we can make here. Okay, so, right. Okay, let's do it. Let's start actually saving these things. So, so we've got, just as we're about to get going. Maybe that's the perfect time. We can always get going in a moment, right? And then we keep the momentum. Okay, so everyone grab a cup of tea or something, and we'll pick up in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, which will be at like 5:25 past. 8 minutes? What's the 8 minutes thing? Okay. Why 8? Why 8 minutes? Tell me if you have a good rationale for 8 minutes, then I will conceivably respond with 8 minutes. But why? It's an extra 3 minutes. Well, we will see. It will be either 5 or 8 minutes. We'll have to see. Mehmet is only coming back after 8 minutes. So the rest of us might be back at 5. We'll have to see. Why not? Yeah, fair point. Infinity minutes. Aha, that's beautiful. What do you, the Brit? What? Oh, right. Okay, this is going to. All right. No break. We're just gonna address this claim here and that. No, break, and I'll try and cool off, and in general, relax. And we'll come back. We'll come back, and I'll answer that question then as well. Okay. See you soon. Okay, so I think this is 8 minutes-ish. All right, so basically I want to, okay, let's check our current progress. So we have playground, which is, we've not made any progress. We have entry, this file. Okay, so it's 84 with our mock. Let's see if we can make it less, right? So there are a couple of things. So we have a little list of potential things to remove here. So some of these are lower priority. So unhead, for example, we can look at that later. Devalue, these are other dependencies, and we could have a look. They can maybe be tree shaken, but and also UFO hookable and OFetch. We're not planning particularly on getting rid of those. So the ones up here are things that we could I think significantly make improvement on. This first one is presumably quite simple. So we have render JSON payloads here. It is just a true or false, and we use it. Let's filter this into just the runtime. We're using it in here, and come on, I don't want to use schema. Okay, so we're just using it here in Nuxt at interesting. This is in Nitro, but we're using it here. Extension. Interesting. And this is the bit where we're talking about the difference here in the code. Honestly, well, there are a couple of ways of solving this, right? So I'm surprised that isn't. Let me just have a little look, because we also are using this in extension. So it should be extension is JSON. Let's just have a look and see. Do we have our extension somewhere? Oh, I guess it's never being used because it wasn't created. Okay, this might be a bigger change than I thought on a bigger project, I guess. Oh, Joaquin, hello. Nice to see you. How to make something you're building tree shakeable. Basically, it's about providing a pattern that your compiler can recognize as being unused. So in this particular case, we could try something like, okay, if we did this. Okay. Well, okay, let's just say if we directly put true here and we rebuild our project just to show how it works. Oh, yeah, it's not findable. Let's see what was the bit after it. Parse payload, right? So we should have something called parse payload. Interesting. Okay, this actually isn't good enough either. And I think this must mean that part of the... Why is that not good enough? I wonder if it's because of the fact that it's an import. So if we could just do this. So this is not likely to be a very significant improvement, by the way, because there's no code. It's just, I think, okay, let's try this instead. Okay, so I think we might have to try if render JSON payloads return, else, oh no, just return. Oops. That's interesting. I would have expected the turn array to be tree shakeable in the same way, but evidently not. Okay. Interesting. Well, okay, I mean, let's just try true. So normally what I would expect to happen at this point is for the compiler to remove this code because it knows it can never be reached. But it's not doing that. Can anyone think why that might not? I just feel like this is a compiler bug. This should not be. Yeah, that's a good thought. Yep, let's try that. Let's just see. I will have you know I am not wearing any socks. So programming socks are not present. It is a lovely summer's day in the UK, which means, you know, it's above 15 degrees. Pass payload. Okay, yes, I think you must be right. It must be because it's in a try-catch. Interesting. So probably what we want to do is something like, okay, const, okay, so const payload is, payload promise is render JSON payloads, that. Oh, I see. No, that's not going to, we'll try this. Then pass payload like that, or this, and we're going to return await payload promise. Okay, pass payload. Yeah, okay, good. So that is actually now tree shaking as we expected. So we can actually make that little commit. So we'll say perf bundle improvements. We're going to say, but again, you'll see it makes zero difference. So like we're talking about a tiny fraction, like a single line being tree shaken, but still it's worth doing. So perf next. Enable tree shake. It will make more difference the other way around. So if you're not using a JSON payload, then you can fully tree shake this pass payload dependency, which is a devalue thing. So enable tree shaking on JSON payloads. I do work on a VirtualBox only for the stream because of my Mac OS GPU, which is incredible. It's a MacBook Air. It's amazing. It does what it does. It works totally fine for local dev. The moment I start streaming, it struggles. So I use a box. I think it should. I think it's a bug. If you want to raise a rollup bug, do it. I think it probably is a bug. Might be worth making a note. Tree shaking in try catch bug. I am using a just an Azure VM because I have some credits, and it works beautifully. It really is very good. My theory is you want if you're not doing it often, like if you're not doing all the time, you want it to be really fast. So it's a high machine. I wouldn't do it if I were. I wouldn't have this level of machine if I were. I don't know if I had it on 24/7. But because I only have it on for like a brief period of time, it works well. Okay, so so we've got a tiny improvement. Let's go for our next one. We have create error from H3, and we also have this use state layout thing. Okay, so we have layout, which is used in a couple of places. This initial layout, where we set the value, but the thing is we only need this if, where do we use it? Not there, that's not it. We only use it in these two places. So, and then we use it here in set page layout. So basically, I think we might be able to avoid using use state at all and just directly set the state. So I think what we can do is this. Use is next app payload state layout, like that. And we can do the same here. And we can do the same there, and there. Oh, we already have it. Boom. Okay, so I think because basically a lot of the things about use state are just not needed in this particular case. We simply need a reactive value, and the state is already reactive. So I think we can just do this. Let's just confirm what we're doing. We need to change the dot value. And we also do it here. And what about here? Okay. So I think that should be good. Let's just do a quick build. We'll have to confirm it obviously doesn't break anything, but I think we have some tests covering this. We should be able to save 4 kilobytes. Okay, that's not bad. Perf next. Don't require use state by default. Okay, let's try our next one. Empty global components plugin. Okay, this seems quite straightforward. Components, what is it? Global components. Okay, so we've got, what's it called? Yeah, this one. Okay, the empty components plugin. I see we actually do deliberately put it in. Okay, let's try this. So we know it at runtime. We have our components plugin template. I think we could basically know at builds whether or not there are any components. So we could do it like this. Components module. I think we could add, we're adding a plugin and a template. Whereas what we could do It's basically what I'm worrying about here is whether maybe that it might be defined, whether like a module might change this later on. So the question is when we fully resolve the VFS and whether we can safely do something here. Why is it set to be? Oh, this is probably just we need to make a fix here. So we basically would do something like interesting. What's the matter with this one? Yeah, interesting. There we go. Those are, it's not a significant fix, but we can make it. So we'll just say fix improve types on plugin template. And let's see what we want. Why is this? Do we ever use this anywhere else? No. So we can just set this here. Okay. I think we could just do this. And how would we? Oh, I see. Okay, so I think we can just do this. Let's see. Plugin template. We have options. Nux template, I think is what we want. Oh, it's a yeah, that's fine, right? It's because it's a plugin template, and we need to take the what options do we need to pass in? No, that's the context. Okay, I'm beginning to understand why this is the way it is. Okay, so this should basically be that. We should drop that out. We do add it there because we are. Wait, why? That is the reason that's not working is that's not even relevant for adding a template. That's only relevant for adding a plugin template. So I'm pretty sure that is just irrelevant. So, okay, that's also fine. I'm glad that we're catching these tiny little things in here. Okay, so we basically, okay, fix more plugin issues. No, definitely not your fault. I was wondering, I've got to say, when we were here, I was thinking, I wonder if this could possibly be, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not related. It's just, this is why as any is a bad thing, right? So anyway, we're finding out what the things are. Okay, what else do we have? We actually need to solve the issue that we're talking about. The empty, this is also very minor. I'm just going to move it down. Desta, let's try that again, because we only use it twice. And again, it feels like it's a little bit bigger than we need. So if we're having a look at Desta, it would be, what is the disk size? Okay, it's 4 kilobytes, but hey, we use it twice, so maybe we don't need it, right? So we've got it in the Nitro renderer, that's one thing. But then we use it in when we use cookie, and we use it in get slot props. And get slot props is used only in Nuxt Island. Okay, so it's interesting. It might be that there is something we can do to fix this, but there might also be a good reason why it's being used. Okay, so let's try this. No, that looks like it's working. Or is it? Wait a second, that's weird, isn't it? It should. Okay, I see, okay. I was a bit worried that the second half wasn't there. Okay, so it's working then. So it is tree shaking out the non if true. What if it's inside a function? So that. Nope. What if we do this? Const is val true? See, it's doing it right. That's true. There was a return. So like this. That kind of thing. Yeah, there you go. The thing is, probably this is what's going on with rollup. The thing is, the return doesn't mean everything goes, right? Because the catch might still be hit. It might still hit the catch, but it does mean that this should be tree shaking. We're looking at performance, which is why we're thinking about tree shaking tiny, tiny things like this. Luke, are you able to replicate? Or do you want me to send you this, this one? Sorry, it is, it's been so long since I've done a stream, I think. Okay. That is my, keyboard. Okay, so let's see. So why are we using Desta and decode HTML entities? Why are we using Desta? Slot props. Doesn't feel like that's right. So if you don't know Desta, by the way, it basically converts string type data into other more useful kind of data. So you can, it effectively parses things. It's better than JSON parse for a lot of situations. And we used to use it all the time in Nuxt. We used to use it to parse. Anyway, it's very good. But what I don't know is why we're using it to parse HTML. Because it feels like... Actually, Julian, are you here? Are you here? Yes, you are here. You've just spoken. So did you add this in? Is there a reason why we're using it to pass the HTML and the slot data. So this is JSON. Okay. Interesting. And so we're using it for all of these reasons. The fact that it is, in fact, safer and faster. Well, it's 4 kilobytes. That's what I'm thinking. We use it in the cookie as well. Yeah, we could use try-catch code, totally. We use JSON parse everywhere. So in a sense, we should either use Duster everywhere, or we should use JSON parse here. I think that is probably fair, right? So even in our cookie handling, I'm pretty sure we use JSON parse somewhere. Maybe not. We use it to pass session storage, which we could use Duster in that particular case. So basically, it would be something like this. If we want to keep the behavior, because I guess it returns undefined. Okay. That would be the replacement. In fact, I'm not even sure we technically need to do that. So that would be the replacement. And then what's the other particular use? Something like that. So yeah, that's true. So we're doing that with cookies, which I guess might make sense. For a server component though, this should be here because we have provided it in the HTML. Hopefully. Yeah, we certainly do. If I drop that, we need that. Yep, thank you. That would be unpleasant. Just confirm. Ta-da! So this is the code, and I will share it with you. Biscoitos, you're so kind. Thank you. So hopefully that replicates, Luke. I see. Okay. The other thing, of course, is that rather than dropping Duster, we could use it in more places and actually make it worthwhile. But it feels like for these 2 single places, it's a bit much. And also, it's not a frequently used thing. Like for here, we're passing a single cookie. I mean, how many use cookie calls do we have in the in the project. Maybe that potentially. So we'll try that. Okay, we now have create error. Now this I think is more significant. So we currently use create error from H3, and we use a few other things. So we set cookie, but a lot of these are not by default. Let's see, but what we do is this create error, and we use it all the time. I also think we have some space to improve. Oops, I need to remove this. Oh yeah, that's a really good idea, Julian. Go for it. Do it. Make the change. Oops, it looks like I may have omitted a change needed. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit further down, the use state thing. Okay, so the next one, what did we say, was create error. Okay. So we have create error, and it's used basically in one place, which is here. And I wonder if it's also used, yeah, it's used in one place here, and we expose it to the rest of the app from there. So let's just take a quick glance at what this does in H3, because it's a very useful function and does quite a lot of helpful things. We basically, it can take a string, it adds the error stack, normalizes the status message, sets fatal, but it also does things like it normalizes the status code. So it needs to, we have some disallowed status characters. We also have a list of status codes that are valid and some that need to be omitted. Like, it's very relevant on the server, but much, much less relevant on the client. I think it feels like a better option would be to ask H3 to have a generic create error, and maybe it is a server composable. I don't want to reinvent all of this, because we've put a lot of work into making this one work. So how would we do this? I think I might leave that open as a thing to take a look at. I think there's another thing that we can also do, though. This is more tricky. So basically, we have a situation where half of these are only needed if they're being used. So, and we actually do know that at build. Thank you, Biscoitus. See you later. Like, we should know, like, shallow, rough, shallow, reactive, empty, shallow, rough. Sorry, that's the same. Create error. I guess we probably do use create error in more places. Let's have a look in the entry. Where do we use create error? Interesting. Show error. Yeah, we do that. What does show error do? I think we could probably improve that. Okay, so basically what we're doing is in the router we call show error, but actually all that we really want to do is this and that and that. We don't need to recreate it. So we probably want to do something like Basically, if it's already a Nuxt error, we don't need to recreate it, right? So that's the thing that where we could potentially benefit from tree shaking that. Let's see. Create error. So we are creating it there. We are creating it there. But actually, so I'm so sorry. Like I'm thinking this through. I feel like we should be calling create error in a lot more places. So we should be calling it. But why is it tree shaken out so well? Like I feel there are the router plugin, for example. We should be doing that here. Why aren't we? Oh, because it's only on the server side. Right, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so that's only happening on the server. There we go. And this one is only happening in the abort navigation composable, which we're not using. And so this one is why is that not happening? Oh, that's the show error, right? So if we can change show error or create a lesser composable, something like so basically this is what we want. Show error in this particular context. What we want to do is call the error and set the error. So we want to do and we probably don't even need to run with context because we have Nuxt app at this point. So we would say, oh, I guess we probably would. So we'll want to await it. Okay, so we'll await the error. We will set the error. Like that. Oh, this only happens on the client. So we could try that. And see what happens. Okay. We still have it. Which is understandable because it's needed in the reviver. So that's the, which I guess there's no way of getting out of that. Thank you. See you later, David. Okay, so Right. So create error, basically a create error on the client side. I feel it should be possible to make this much simpler. And we basically don't care about the sanitized status message. And we don't care about the sanitized status code. Those are the things we don't care about on the client. So cool. Welcome. And yeah, we can take a break. Mehmet rules the time of this stream. So, okay, we'll take a break. 5 minutes. Go whatever. It might be a little less than 5 minutes. Sorry. I'm in. I want to do this. But yeah, we'll take a break. Take a break. So everyone, go enjoy, and we'll be back soon. You are quite right. It is a grammatical mistake. But unfortunately, I don't actually have control of these. Someone made them for me, so I need to ask her to fix it. And I keep forgetting. I also need a different, like my current avatar. Ta-da! Current avatar needs to appear. Oh, and bye, Julian. Right, so. So yes, I would like to make it better, more tree shakeable. And actually that's probably inevitable, but this is actually probably not worth doing, this particular change. So what we really need to do with create error is we really need a version that doesn't depend quite so much of the server side validation, because it's relevant for things like headers. Yeah, it's relevant. So this is the, let's see, where's the source? So this is create error in its source. So yeah, this is great. This is fine. This is all needed. But then we have the to.json, which is actually probably not needed on the client. We also have the stuff like the status code is sanitized, and this sanitization it's sanitized, I guess. And then we have, we sanitize the status message as well. And we did, replace characters and all of this. It feels like we don't need to do that. Import meta client and server come from Nuxt. We set those, and Nitro sets them as well. So they're available in both places. And welcome, Chaz. Okay, so okay. Well, it may be that we've made some progress. Let's see what happens if I revert the stub and just see what we come up with. Oh, by the way, this is the non-minified number. So if we minify it as well, let's see what we get. Okay. It's a lot of work for 4 kilobytes of minified JavaScript to drop, but it's nothing to sniff at. Okay, so I would also like to see where are those other where is all of that? I feel like we ought to be able to decrease the view size as well. So yeah. We're not expecting changes on the server side because we are focusing on client, but that's not bad. So now if we wanted to, that might, yeah, we commented that out. Right? Let's just alias that back in and just confirm the size if view is around. Yeah, 40 kilobytes versus 80. So it really doubles the size. Nuxt is quite small, relatively speaking, compared to Vue. So, I mean, Vue is doing the heavy lifting, obviously, and the UI. It's not a criticism of Vue, but it would be nice to decrease that somehow. And I really want to check that there's not any duplicate in the actual build. Okay, let's see. So we should have, so view is not present. We just have this stub. We are using, let's see what we're using of views in our actual code. So we should now have a lot of I see, this is all the duster. Why is duster still around? I thought we removed it, or did we only search? Why is duster still around? Ah, duster is being used by ofetch. So in fact, there is no point in trying to get rid of it from nuxt because it's being used directly by ofetch. So in that case, we want to probably revert that change. And there we go. And in fact, we probably want to use it in more places because it's already in our build and is more performant. So we would probably want to do something like this. And this. And here. And here. Okay, which doesn't affect the bundle size because it's being used anyway. So that is nice. Okay, so what do we want then? I guess shallow ref in its source is, I doubt it's very big. I bet shallow ref is just a wrapper. Yeah, that's create ref is going to be used anyway. So there's no real bundle size difference between including or not including it. And what about shallow reactive? Is that the same as? Yeah, it's again just a wrapper. So I don't think we'll have any issues with these or these. So I don't think there's really an opportunity to do anything with the revivers. Okay. Okay, I think this is reasonable. We've got 13 files and we've got a couple of kilobytes saved, which is okay, right? So let's push that and open the PR. Oh. Figure out what's going wrong there. Presumably a interesting. I've reps. I've pinned it to the channel if you're looking for what I'm using. Okay, this looks like this is just a GitHub failure. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of like, this is not, I don't think this is really a test failure. That's a single flaky test, I guess. Yeah, something's wrong with GitHub. Oh, I was opening a pull request. Right, so this is a raft of small changes which together make a difference in bundle size for, there we go. Seems reasonable, and I think I might split out a couple of these things into a different PR because they're not related, but let's actually just do that now rather than make multiple ones. So we'll revert those 5 changes, and we will create a new one. We'll create one branch which is for Desta. Desta, so fix next, use Desta in more places over JSON pass. I am well, thank you. It is nice to hear from you. And we are going to cherry pick some commits. We're basically going to cherry pick this one. And git commit amend. We'll do that. Okay, so that should be good. So we'll push that one up and create a new pull request there. And we'll ask Puya's review, it's his library, and cool. Okay, let's do that. Then we also have, what else do we have? We have, what is this? We also have these two plugin types, which are not related particularly to the performance improvement. So we'll say fix component plugin types, and we'll cherry pick both of those. So get cherry pick this one and this one. And great, those should be fine. So we'll push those up as well. And I and SWE. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. The keyboard sounds nice. And yes, you can make a next project executable, although I don't have a link, but I have seen somebody pull them in, like make like a next. Next project. So, and am I a software engineer? I guess you could say I am, yeah. It's a difficult question to answer, really. What is this? Okay, this is a bug fix. Straight bug fix. So I'm an open source maintainer. I maintain Nuxt, which is a framework for building web apps, yeah. So what are the alternatives? What do you mean? Like, so I'm an engineer. Yes, that's true. I'm, but like, what do you mean? As opposed to what? As opposed to a designer? As opposed to this is more of a chore. I am delighted to hear that. That's really nice. Okay. There we go. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, probably some. Interesting. Oh, we have to type this. So Desta is should be record string any. Excellent. That's very nice of you to say. Okay, so we have Desta in more places. This also, we need to fix this. What's that? Code. Oh, we need a comma, but hopefully that will have made its commit automatically. Good. So now that we have that PR open as well, we can go back and rebase this one. Get rebase interactive main, and we're going to drop the ones that are irrelevant here. So drop the Duster changes and drop the plugin fixes, and that should mean that now this is much more like used. Rebase is absolutely brilliant in exactly this situation. So I'm opening a fresh PR. Nobody else is working with it. Nobody else has it cloned on their machine. And what I'm doing is tidying it up so that it will make a good PR to look at. Oh, okay. That's fine. I love Firefox, by the way. I think it's a great project. Great browser. Okay, so this now is an intelligible PR. Like, unlike thank you, Sean. Yeah, I know, I agree. I think this is what it's for, right? So this is it's tidying it up. It's making it much easier for people to review it because it is all a unified chunk. Like when you're doing, you can create, as long as your individual commits are intelligible. Once you finish the thing, you can pull them out into separate branches and make different PRs or directly commit them to main. Like, it means you don't have to switch context into another branch or something because you feel like it has to be there. This is Arc, arc.net. You can try it out. Okay. I don't think there's anything more to say here other than just give it some priority labels and actually I won't request. I want to make sure it passes the initial. Nuxt is a framework for building web apps. It is designed for the edge. It is very fast. It uses Vue as its front-end UI library. Perf decrease default bundle size. I'm the repo maintainer. And if you want to know what I would say about contributing to Nuxt, then I've actually written something. So you can have a read about this. But basically, I would love you to contribute to Nuxt or any other open source project. I think, actually, do I say something about other open source contribution? Yeah, no, this is it. So if you want, you can chat to me as well. You can book a call, and I'd love to talk. So it's I would love you to contribute to open source. I have found it totally rewarding and valuable. Like, open source community is wonderful. You'll enjoy it, I think. And cal.com, absolutely. They're doing such a good job, I think. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much it for today. We'll give it a stop for now. I will say I am planning on Wednesday to do a Nuxt module build. So there's a third-party auth provider. I'll build a module, Nuxt module. But the aim is basically to figure out how we can do that with Nuxt. So if you're interested in building modules, make sure to let me know. Make sure to sort of put that in your diary. It should be roughly the same time as today, no, a little bit earlier, maybe sort of 1 p.m. BST. So you might want to come along to that, but I'll tweet about that as well. It's been such fun, so I'm very glad you came. And is there anybody that we should go see? Who could it be? Let's see. Primagen is on. Does anyone else see any streamer that you follow, want to drop some people in? Because we could totally do that. Failing that, we can raid the Prime. We've actually had a few transitions for quite some time, and we have a Nuxt example, which we published back in April. So you can try this. Ugh. That's a Nuxt Vue transitions demo. We also have Nuxt Movies, which is a nice project you can try out. And yes, let's go raid Lana Lux. Cool. Thank you, everyone, and see you next time. I say see you next time. It's still going to be like 10 seconds until the raid happens. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun. I really do always enjoy these things. So thank you. Bye.